Welcome. Today we're gonna do a shadow fade with a side part. We're gonna start the haircut, we're gonna apply water, and we're gonna make a side part on the left side. We're gonna use number 8, keep your side in this part of the guard. Cut in a horizontal position from left to right. Use the technique trapping the hair against the clipper to make the cut easier. The rest of the hair you can cut it in a vertical position using this part of the comb to protect the longer hair. Then cut going up. In this case we are not gonna make the line with the straight razor, but you can simulate it later using the product. Use number 4 a bit lower than we used number 8 and use it in a diagonal position to avoid making lines. In this area we only use the border of the guard to detail and cut this specific area. Continue cutting all the way to the back with number 4 guard. Use number 3 a bit lower than we use number 4 and continue cutting in a diagonal position to avoid making lines. We're gonna make the entire haircut without making guidelines. We're gonna use number 2 a bit lower than we use number 3 and continue using the borders of the guard and continue cutting in a diagonal position to avoid making lines. Use number 2 until the middle or back of the head. Use number 1 mostly using the border of the guard and continue cutting from left to right. Use number 1.5 a bit lower than we use number 2. Use number 1.5 until the middle or back of the head. Use number 1 with an open blade. Continue using the border of the guard. Use it a bit lower than we use the 1.5 and continue clearing the darker areas from left to right until the middle of the head. Keep in mind that we're gonna use number 1 with a closed blade, so save some space for number 1 with a closed blade. Use number 1 with a closed blade, only using the corners of the blade, and continue clearing the darker areas from left to right until the middle of the head. We are cutting the rest of the hair, only focusing and clearing the darker areas. Now we're gonna use the trimmer to start making the outline on the left side. In this area, only use the border of the trimmer's blade. Only open a way that later we're gonna shave with the straight razor. Now we're gonna continue with the right side. We're gonna use number 8 and we're gonna use the technique trapping the hair against the clipper to cut it. This way, in this area, in the third lateral section, the hair is gonna be blended and it's gonna be very easy to blend it with the hair on top. We are using number 8 in a vertical position and we are cutting going up. Use number 4 a bit lower than we use number 8 and continue cutting in a diagonal position to avoid making lines. Cut from right to left. We are making the entire haircut without making guidelines. Use number 4 until the middle of back of the head, and now we're gonna use number 3 a bit lower than we use number 4 and continue cutting in a diagonal position to avoid making lines. Use number 3 until the back or middle of the head. Now we're gonna use number 2 a bit lower than we used number 3. Continue cutting in a diagonal position. Here you can see that I'm only using the borders of the guard. Use the 1.5 a bit lower than we used number 2. Focus only in using the borders of the guard. This way you can cut with detail the hair that you want to cut. We are opening away and keeping in mind that later we're going to use number 1 with an open blade, and then we're going to use number 1 with a closed blade. We're going to use number 1 with an open blade, and we're going to use the borders of the guard, and we are cutting from right to left. Here you can see in detail that I'm only clearing the darker areas using the border of the guard. Use number 1 with an open blade until the middle or back of the head. Use number 1 with a closed blade and use it a bit lower than we used number 1 with an open blade, and continue cutting from right to left. Now we're gonna make the edges. We're gonna use the trimmer. We're gonna make a guideline on the middle that later we're gonna connect with the left side and the right side. We are only opening a way that later we're gonna shave with the straight razor. We also make the outline on the sideburn area. In this area we use the border of the trimmer's blade and we cut going up. Make the outline on top of the ear using the border of the trimmer's blade. The top we did it with scissors. We're gonna apply water and we're gonna comb the hair to the right. We're gonna use 3 fingers touching the scalp. We made solid cuts. We are cutting in a 90-degree angle in a horizontal position all the way to the back. Then we're gonna connect the left side and the right side with the guideline we did on the middle. We are using as reference the size of our fingers, and also we are using as reference the cut we did before. Keep the cut we did before visible. Comb the hair to the right and connect the guideline we did on the middle with the left side. Comb the hair to the right and connect the guideline we did on the middle with the right side. Connect the hair we cut with number 8 on the 3rd lateral section with the top of the hair on the right side. We are cutting in a vertical position and we only gonna cut the excess of hair. Level the hair on the front area. We're gonna make a solid cut in the middle that later we're gonna level with the left side and the right side. Now we're gonna make the shave. We're gonna use the straight razor and the shaving cream. We're gonna use a double-edged blade and we're gonna install the blade on the straight razor, and mostly we're gonna use this part of the straight razor. Be careful in this sensitive area. Only open away the rest of the hair, shave it going down. We're gonna make the blow dry and style of the hair. We are gonna use a rounded brush to give volume to the hair. In this case we use cream with a medium hold and natural shine. In this case we didn't make the line with the straight razor, but we can simulate it using the product. We comb and style the hair to give it a formal look, but you can make it messy to give it a more casual look. This is the final result. This was a shadow fade with a side part without making guidelines. I hope you liked my video. Thanks for watching and see you next time. These are some of my previous videos. I invite you to watch them. If you like them, hit the like button, share it and subscribe.